Jim Clark came to Chirnside at the age of 6 and attended the village school.
Jimmy says, I think we'll play the tune today, we'll log on to school and we'll let the bus, we'll head in an old house at the road end and let the bus pass, and we set off walking, walked about half a mile when Jim's dad got up us through the car and took us along to the school. But he didn't let us up off the gate, he took us right in to make sure that we was at the school.
Jim had always been interested in driving, even at the age of 3 when he got his first pedal car. The first time he went to see the motor racing, he asked George to go with him.
Once we going to the race meeting at Twinfield, and I said, oh, it'll be a bit expensive. I said, I just didn't fancy it anyway. I didn't think a lot about it, but he came back and I think it was 2-3 days, and he says, I've got a ticket for you to go. And we watched the motor racing most of the day, and later on in the day we agreed to come back home and got the bikes.
Boys will be boys. Jim decided they should go back through the Bluestone Ford.
And he says, I'm going to cycle it through the ford. Well, it was concrete and it was really slippy.
He fell in and went home soaked, taking George with him to the farmhouse.
It'll save me from getting into bother because I'll get around for getting wet.
I first met Jim Clark on my way to a meeting of the Edinburgh District Young Farmers Club near Kelso. I was overtaken rather rapidly by a Sunbeam Talbot and thought the boy racer was probably a stupid boy racer idiot, and got to the meeting, discovered he was there, and spotted the car in the car park and got introduced to him. As things got on over the next few days and weeks, we soon realised we had a mutual interest in motorsport.
Like many young farmers, Jim drove fast along the Borders lanes.
You know, most of us had accidents at some point, and I'm not talking about big serious accidents, or just through the hedge or knocked down 20 metres of hedge or something like that. And we all drove far, far too quickly. And Jim was one of them, and he was certainly a member of the Hedgers, Ditchers and Dykers.
He joined this unofficial club when he crashed his Sunbeam Talbot into a field. The old airfields made excellent racetracks.
Went to Winfield in 1950, but then I was 4 years old, and that's obviously before Jim was racing. But I remember being brought home because it was too noisy for me. And then I used to go to Charterhall after that, which was a great success there. Lots of spectators, and that's where Jim sort of really cut his teeth.
Tommy Greive remembers some of the famous drivers he saw at Charterhall, where he started selling programmes as a Boy Scout during Bob a Job week.
Jim Clark, of course, Jimmy Stewart from Glasgow, and a little chap called A.N. Other, who I just knew as Mr. Other, but it so happened it turned out to be Jackie Stewart.
Jim Clark began his motor racing career with the local garage.
The Berwick District Motor Club were running events and hill climbs, auto tests, rallies and things, and his fellow farmers but were all involved at that time as well. And so they formed the Border Reivers, and Jock McBain ran the team, and because Jim just stood out head above everybody else, he was the one that got to drive the D-type Jaguars, Aston Martin, DBR1s.
There were perks for McBain's mechanics, who gave up their own time to work on the Border Reivers cars, and when the new Jaguar D-type arrived, they were all given a go, even the apprentice.
At that time I didn't have a driving licence, so Jock McBain says, well, somebody can take you out, in the car. So I had the privilege of Jim taking me out in the car, So he took me out and doing his known circuit along through Chirnside, up Eddington and back around to the garage again was quite something.
Days was going to Le Mans to race, and again that was with the team from McBain's and local friends and farmers who acted as marshals and mechanics and did the business.
Jim began racing all over the world, and flying made it easier to get home.
There was a hangar at Winfield where Jim kept his plane, and we sort of seemed to know when he was going to be coming or going.
I flew a number of times with him home from the south up to Winfield, and he was, we were flying above the cloud and chatting away, and he would set his headings, and we would just chat away about normal conversation, and then he would say, right, we should be above Holy Island now, and let's go down through the cloud and have a look. And they went down through the cloud, had a look, and there was Holy Island, and we turned left up the Tweed and into Winfield.
The Grand Prix driver would bite his nails, and away from the track found it hard to make a decision.
Because I can remember he and Jackie Stewart were travelling in America somewhere, and they came to a railway crossing which was had no barriers on it, and you could see sort of 5 miles one way and 5 miles the other, and Jim turned around to Jackie and says, well, what do you think? He loved his farming, and particularly his sheep, and he always made a point of being at home for the Kelso Ram sales every year. And I can remember Graham Hill being interviewed one day on television after Jim having won a race, and he said, what are your thoughts of Jim Clark? And he says, I just hope he goes back to sheep farming, was his comment.
Jim Clark was a kind-hearted hero, as the lads playing at Winfield found out.
And this time we were a bit bolder and we got a bit closer, and he was just asked us if one of us, because he couldn't take us all, would like to have a bit spin up in the plane with him, because he wasn't going to be long. But, just everybody would be wanting to say yeah, but, we just chickened out and said no.
Jim still remembered his early days in the local motor club. And he would say to his friends in London, come on, we're going to Berwick for the dinner on Friday night, dinner jackets, all dressed up. Graham Hill, Paddy Hopkirk, Jackie Stewart, Peter Harper, all these guys came to the Berwick Motor Club dinner just because Jim said, come on, we're going. He never ever forgot his roots back here, and I think that was one of the nicest things about Jim.
He returned to the local school where he had been a quiet lad who had kept out of trouble.
And then a big excitement one day when we were told he was coming to full attendance that day. There was nobody skiving that day. Yeah.
When Jim was away, he wasn't forgotten at home.
What I do remember is that one time at Charterhall, the biggest cheer of the day went up when it was announced over the tannoy system that Jim had won a race somewhere. I think it would be a Grand Prix somewhere.
In 1963, Chirnside was proud to welcome home its world champion, who had so many trophies that filled the sideboard and were heaped on the dining table at Edington Mains. The quiet champion refused to go on the open-top bus unless his friend and farm steward, William Campbell, went too. 2 years later, there was a second parade to celebrate his World Championship and Indy 500 win, when local businesses made floats.
At the paper mill we made a rocket and put it on the back of a lorry, and we had it on there, an engine for Jim, and we were in the parade with that, which sort of started off at Allen and finishing off on the cross hill at Chirnside.
Those who knew Jim Clark will have their own memories, but to everyone else, he is Chirnside's champion.